Welcome, spell slingers. You're watching / listening to the Cozy Magic Podcast.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness, we're finally here. We're so glad to have you along in our journey of the world of Magic the Gathering. And Ruby, I've got a question for you. Why is the Cozy is that Z?
I think it's a Z for Australians, right?
Is it? Because I've always said
really
Z.
Rich. It's rich for me to say, considering we chose a Z, which is the Americanized spelling.
Well, we didn't choose it.
Sorry,
you chose
it. Okay, look. We need Americans to notice us.
Is this how we get their attention?
This is
Sure.
how we use their spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
that's exactly it.
This is going to be a tangent already, but I've always known it as Z because it's PQRSTUV WX, Y, and Z. So V rhymes with Z. Does that make sense?
We're talking about the alphabet
when you're like
yes,
when you're singing, you know.
I feel like I've never actually called it a Z, but
Yeah.
I have people correct me all the time to say.
But they're wrong.
Yeah, well.
So we know the truth. Anyway, just to introduce myself, I'm Nigel. The first set I played Magic was Battle for Zendikar back in 2015, and it's 2024 now, so that's 9 years ago. I've been playing for about 9 years.
Nearly a decade.
And I've been playing like on and off ever since, because like someone always picks it up, and then you sort of like dabble for a little bit, you lose interest, and then you come back into it. But in the past maybe 4 years, I really started getting back into it, and I think it's because of the people that I play with, right? I really enjoy limited formats, so going to like pre-releases is one of my favorite things to do. You just go with a bunch of friends. We did that recently as well, and it's just a good time. But Commander really started picking up, and it's just a social way to play. I've been teaching Magic at conventions maybe about 4 times now. I've done once with you. So that was really, really fun. And my favorite guild, which is a 2-color combination for those not familiar, is Orzhov, which is white-black. Which is very... We'll get into it a little bit later, but I also like my blue a little bit now, which is why I've got this counterspell. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a friendship bracelet that Ruby made me.
I made it.
I'm very excited to be sporting that. Where's yours?
Well, I made my own, so it doesn't count. I left it at home.
So it's a friendship bracelet to yourself.
It's a friendship. Yeah, mine says MTG baby.
MTG baby. Well, what else? I know you've made a couple of others for some. Legendary Creature was a cool one.
Legendary Creature.
Yeah.
I made Hexproof.
Hexproof's a good one. I want Ward 3. Give me Ward 3 next time.
I do have Ward 3, and it's not completely made. I made a bunch of mono black ones because so many of our friends play mono black.
Yeah.
And not a threat.
Not a threat. I know exactly who you gave that to as well. Well, enough about me. I'm going to throw over to Miss Magic Australia, Ruby.
Hate it when you say
Why?
that.
No, look. I think it is. Anyway, you go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ruby. The first set I played. Well, it was one of the starter decks. So I used the red and white. So it had angels and the Shivan Dragon.
Yeah, I know exactly which one that was.
I remember distinctly taking a picture and be like, my baby. And it was this big dragon.
It's just a little guy.
That was
665.
in what, 2017? When did the arena early access? It was like 2017.
So it was Ixalan, so I think about 2017 maybe.
Yeah. And
holy cow.
I was living in Adelaide at the time. So that's my hometown.
Okay.
And there's almost nothing there, by the way. Like, so.
Did I ever tell you that my parents met in Adelaide?
Oh,
yeah.
One of the only good things to come out of there. I bet there's like a plaque or like a statue.
Oh, they're meeting? They're divorced now.
Their love. Well.
No, but I'm here now. But yeah, Adelaide's cool. I've been a couple times. That's cool.
Well, yeah, there wasn't much going on there. And so the fact that we got a Magic event was incredible.
Wait, so was it an event?
Yeah, it was. So it was a PR company.
Yeah.
Invited a bunch of people, a bunch of streamers.
Wait. So your first Tangle with Magic was a full-on event.
Well, you say full-on.
No, but it was. You didn't like, your friend didn't like, hey, Matt, Ruby, let's play Magic. It was like an event.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's very cool.
So they had the starter decks, and it was like these days, the events are super cool and thematic and in like cool places and fortress and X, Y, Z.
Our editor worked up with a couple of pictures. I think Ruby's got a few that you've been to. Yeah.
But it was in a co-working space in Adelaide that they also did game dev in.
Yep.
And then, so it was in an office. It was in like a boardroom.
Okay.
And
so you're playing from like across.
Yes.
You're just
like very far across.
So what is that over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you push your cards towards me?
Yeah.
And we ate pizza on the roof.
Yeah.
So it was like very corporate. It was like a corporate Magic event.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like a rooftop area because it was like a cool co-working space.
Okay, one of those like
trendy
in Adelaide. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my first like deck that I played.
Heck
with.
yeah.
I've been playing each Magic set since Adventures in the Forgotten Realms.
Oh, the D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons one. Yeah.
So it was like we played D&D as well and played Magic on the night as well. So that was really cool.
Oh, okay.
But I did
have Wizards of the Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. I have played every set since, but like I was only really playing on release.
Like
and then I would drop it. I didn't really have friends who played at the time.
This was when you were back in Adelaide.
No,
still,
I'd moved here already.
Melbourne. Yeah.
And then Phyrexia Obi-Wan.
Mummy. Yeah.
Yeah. The Elish Norn.
Yeah.
That was my set.
I think there's like you've cracked like 3 in a row of something, right? What do you?
3 in a row.
I think it was like 2 in a row of something. Was it Shieldred?
Oh,
yeah, that's also Mummy.
2 in a row of Shieldreds.
Yeah, there you go.
2 Shieldreds and then an Elish Norn.
Yeah.
Like right after.
There you go. Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. And then obviously March of the Machine was really special to me because that was my first preview card.
That's why I met you.
Yes.
Yes, that's where I met you.
Yeah, I signed. You got me to sign your preview, the preview card.
I still remember your preview card was Phyrexian Censor.
Yes.
It's a 3 mana cost 3/2.
Yeah.
Non-Phyrexian. I think it's what your
non-Phyrexians enter
tapped, and then players can only cast 1 non-Phyrexian spell at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And I guess that like really that was it. Like he was my son.
He's your boy.
I had to build around him. I had to play him.
Yeah.
And then
I think once you get a preview card, it's like you're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm very. It was a privilege. It was a privilege, and it worked. What they were trying to do, it worked.
Yeah. So to get you in.
Yes.
Give you 100%.
I have taught at 2 conventions officially.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh no. So 2.
Yeah,
it's 2 now.
Because I was at the one that you were at the first one, and then the second one I was doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Nigel's Padawan.
Oh, stop. Right.
He's like the best teacher in the whole world.
And the thing is, I always say, because like you were so afraid the first time and you were like, Nigel, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know like what to say. And I always say like the best way to teach is not the best person to teach isn't the person that knows the most. It's the person who has the willingness and like the heart to teach. And you've got that in spades. So, and I saw you on your first time. It was great. Well, you had fun.
It was amazing.
You had fun, right?
I did. It was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
It's so rewarding.
And it's really put me on that path. That second convention. Your crash course that you gave me though, it really
through Discord.
Yeah, through Discord.
I just had Ruby and another friend on, and I was just like teaching them how to teach. Yeah.
It was good. It was perfect though. I mean, because it's a lot of things that you don't think about as well, like explaining, the anatomy of a card to somebody.
Yeah.
You don't. I hadn't ever really considered that there are some people who have never played a card game in their lives. It's easier to teach the people who
have played card games
or they've seen cards before. Maybe they've collected Pokemon cards, something like that.
Exactly.
They have an idea.
Yeah. I always say, like, when I'm teaching someone, if you play like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Final Fantasy trading card game, if you understand like card draw is good, losing life is bad, you're like halfway there.
Yeah.
But some people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I taught at Supernova in Melbourne, and I taught at DreamHack as my last one, which was a lot of fun as well. I had returning...
like over the days?
Yeah, I had returning students as well. Over the days, and also someone came from Supernova.
To
DreamHack. That he was like, I don't have friends who play, and I'd love a refresher. And so we sat down and had a rematch from the first time that I taught him. And
how full circle is that?
It was beautiful. And then a couple as
well. You didn't tell me that like at all before. Like you're saving that for today.
Yeah, well, I mean, we should.
Yeah.
We should never speak outside of the podcast
because like whenever it's just a good time to talk to you anyway. So.
And I had a couple. I'm going off on a full tangent. I knew this would happen.
I knew it would happen too. But it's good content.
No, I also taught a couple who came back 2 days or the next day.
Yeah. When you say a couple, like people who are together.
Yeah. So the guy needed a refresher, and the girl had never played before, and they had bought the Fallout Commander decks.
Oh, perfect.
Because they were fans.
Perfect.
And so I taught them with the starter decks, and then we made the giant leap to
Commander straight up. But if you don't have that foundation, like, how do you go to Commander in the first place? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. In the end, a lot more practice is needed before they jumped fully into Commander, but it was the foundation they needed.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I love cozy games. Full stop. Anything cozy
Magic
you can
podcast,
see.
so.
Yeah, this is like change from my stream stuff, which I guess leads into the next thing where I'm a Twitch streamer who originally streamed like variety video games. Now it's just Magic. So thanks,
That's why
Wizards.
I didn't say Miss Magic Australia. I didn't say Miss Variety. I said Miss Magic,
Miss
right?
Variety.
I didn't say I said Miss Magic Australia specifically.
No.
Right. So I think the
Please
question
don't
is
call
like,
me
what?
that. On the street.
Why? It's just people come up to you and be like, "Can you sign
Oh my God.
Miss Magic Australia?" I think the question is why did we come around to like actually making a podcast, right? Because there's so many incredible podcasts out there for building decks, like Commander statistics, how to be a better limited player, how like rule videos, like there's so many things like that.
Yeah.
But why are we doing something, I suppose, is the question.
First of all, we love magic.
Hell yeah.
Our lives are magic. Whoa.
I mean,
whoa.
yeah. It's really good.
But like, we're not pros where this isn't for rules or tech or anything like that. This is I would say this is like the Commander format of
what do you mean,
Magic podcast. So it's casual. It's casual, it's social. Yeah.
So it's not modern, it's not standard, it's not pioneer, it's not historic. I like that actually.
Casual, social Magic podcast.
Because that's what Commander is, right? Like it's
yeah.
We are you take that to the bank, by the way. This is clippable moment. We are the Commander format of podcasts. There you go, Magic podcast.
Format of Magic podcasts. We're not rule experts, though.
No.
You, right? Aren't you basically judge?
No, so there's we won't get into a whole thing, but I'm sort of like studying to be a rules advisor.
A story for another time.
Which is something else. But
okay.
Pretty much like we want to like share our love of Magic with as many people as we can. Use the platforms that we have to do so. And again, like Magic is a very complicated game. So some people think, it's not worth teaching it to my friends who might not enjoy it.
No.
Everyone enjoys Magic. Are you kidding me?
Magic is for everyone.
Absolutely. And we're going to get to that a lot. Like I think in this episode, it really is for everyone.
Very approachable, very casual, very social podcast for Magic.
Heck yeah.
That's what we're cozy.
We're cozy.
Magic club. Anyone can be part of the club.
Absolutely. I think it's just something that you just come together and you just share.
Exactly.
Share about this. And that's what we want to do for everyone as well. Cool.
Should we do the fun part?
Yeah. So one segment I think we want to do is crack a pack because like we love to do that. And I've got this pack of Phyrexia All Will Be One, which is which is the mummy set. And I want you to crack that right into the mic.
Right
actually.
into the mic. Oh, I get to crack it.
Yeah, you get to crack it. I'll crack the next one.
All right. Oh, you have another one.
Well, I mean like.
The next
one.
Ready?
We're not making money yet. Yeah.
How many packs we got?
We got the one pack.
Okay.
What do we got?
How should I show these to you?
So
we've got the token on the back, the poison counter token.
Ooh,
the land. We got a Phyrexian.
Full art. Nice, very nice, very nice. We like a full art mountain.
How should I show this?
I'll just open.
Just open.
Just open.
We've got Duelist of Deep Faith.
Yep. If you read it out, I know what it is.
You're just professional.
I've just played too much of the set.
Sky Scythe Engulfer.
Yep.
Bladegraft Aspirant.
Yep. White card.
Testament Bearer.
It's a black card. It's a 4/1. Isn't
it's
it?
a mummy too. Another mummy. Yeah. Glistener Seer.
That's a blue card.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is now a quiz.
Yeah.
Indoctrination Attendant.
I want to say like a white card.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, right?
Yeah. Phyrexian. Yeah.
Because white's a very church thing. Yeah. But yeah. No, for like Phyrexia. Yeah. The machine orthodox. Anyway.
That's true.
Yep.
Ruthless Predation.
It's a green card.
It is.
Yep. It's a fight spell.
Far out. We've got Gataxian Raptor.
It's a blue spell. It's a blue creature.
Yeah, I mean, Gatax.
Yeah, there you go.
Sawblade Scamp.
It's a white card. Oh, no, it's not.
Is that your final answer?
Soulblade Scam. I think red.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, I love this one. Blackbelly Rat.
It's a black one. It's got death touch.
Yeah.
When it dies, you proliferate.
No, it does not have death touch.
Oh, it's a toxic. Sorry.
Yes, it
toxic
does.
when it dies, it proliferates.
I love
Sorry.
rats.
Yeah.
I love rat decks so much. So every time I see this
you'll
card,
talk about a rat deck one day.
I'm real happy. Yeah, we do. Vat Emergence.
It's a green one. No. I don't
It's a black card.
Okay.
We've got Armored Scrap Gorger.
Okay, is this the last? That was 3 uncommons, right? So there's one more.
There's
rare.
2 more.
There's 2 more. Okay.
There's 2 more cards.
Okay, Armored Scrap Gorge is a red card. Green. I don't know.
Green card.
Green card. Dang it.
We've got Transplant Theorist.
I don't know. Blue.
This one's blue. Yeah, your brain switched off. Now it's gone. Ooh. Okay. So our rare is it's 2 colors.
Okay.
Would you like to guess?
We'll just say the name, right?
Kaito Dancing Shadow.
Oh, it's the Planeswalker.
Yes,
it's the blue-black Planeswalker.
Yes, it
yeah.
is. He's cool looking.
Which one did you get the?
This one.
Yeah, heck yeah. Not a bad one. Not a bad one.
All right, not a bad pack. What do you think? Was that a win? I like the land.
It's all right. Yeah.
I like the lands.
I think anytime you get like a full art land, you're pretty happy with that.
I like that
so
one.
That's not bad. Cool. Well, let's get straight into what the first sort of thing we want to talk about this episode is the Magic journey and what we want to accomplish, or what a person wants to accomplish when they start Magic. So we'll get straight into it. You're right.
Yeah.
Like when
around.
it's very easy to like, all right, I'm gonna play Magic. I'm gonna have fun with my friends, which is also like a perfectly fine goal to have.
Absolutely.
Like I know people who've been peer pressured to join Magic because it's all anything does anymore, and they're like, all right, I'll buy a deck, and then they love it.
Yeah.
Which is a perfectly fine. But like, what's like your sort of goals, I suppose, when it comes to Magic?
Well, I mean, that was me for the longest time, right?
And again, that's fine. I think that's so fine.
And I loved that. My experience with Magic has been largely social. Like like nothing but so much Commander. The cards that I really got into it with were actually Jumpstart boosters.
I love Jumpstart, and I love Jumpstart.
Yeah, I
like
love Jumpstart.
Best way to just get into it.
I think it's the best way to learn.
I think so.
Again, Commander, very complicated.
So hard to learn.
So some of our friends who we have taught as well, we have taught and regularly played with. I almost feel a tiny bit bad for them, but they've had so much support as well.
Yes.
But it's definitely maybe not the best.
I think it's definitely not the best.
Not the best beginner.
I'll definitely talk about it a little bit later, but I think
yeah.
it's like the worst way to learn.
Now just got to corral me into away from
get to the top. Get to your point. What is your goal as the Magic player?
My experience has been largely social. At the start of this year, I played my first competitive arena. It was a Swiss tournament.
Okay.
Of 7 rounds with.
Was it standard or historic?
It was standard.
Okay, you played standard.
Yes.
I haven't played standard for ages, so good on you.
It was a little while ago. And it was with Birds of Paradise.
Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah.
And they were so kind. They paid my entry as well.
Right.
It was American time zone.
So did you like wake up at like 3 a.m. or something?
It started at 4 a.m. our time.
Shucks, okay.
And went until about midday or so.
You would have been wrecked.
I was,
Yeah.
but ran on pure adrenaline delirium.
Red Bulls and adrenaline,
The high of playing my first competitive tournament. Anyway, that was fantastic. And so I would love to do more of that as well and get good.
How'd you go, by the way?
I didn't do too bad. Okay, so full disclosure, I didn't build my deck. My deck was...
That is so fine though. Like people deck tech all the time now.
Yeah.
Like, if it's arena, like...
Well, it was a Duke Reed mono red deck.
Yeah.
And it was super fun too. There was one game that I won with like 8 points of burn damage or something.
Like the same turn?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was just so burn damage is like it'll just do direct cards that do direct damage to your face.
Yep.
Just very simple, straightforward punching. That's how I would describe it.
How'd you go? Like, did you?
I won 4 and lost 3.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And this is one tiny look. I don't usually, let me be so clear that I'm very aware of my skill level or that lack thereof, or of knowledge as well. Like by all means, I'm still extremely new, but this is my one little claim. I was the only person in the tournament to beat the winner of the tournament.
Oh, really?
And it was like my
cool.
first round.
Your first round, so like 0-0, you beat
like
him.
I had 2 wins in in 3. Yeah. So it was like 2-0. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, 2-0. Yeah.
So I was 2-0. And
that's really good.
Yeah, and like the start of that went really well too. I think I started with 2 wins or something like that. Like
that's a very good start, because again, like with Swiss, you only play against people that the same, like what do you call it?
Like you're saying,
win-loss
like your
record,
win ratio or whatever it is.
The record,
anyway, so I would love to do more of that, and hopefully with birds as well. Again, they're some of my favorite people, and I'd really like to pay it forward as well, and like pay some of other people's entry for like other people. And teaching as well, I realize that's been a real calling.
It's so rewarding, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Like that sounds so...
It's super cheesy. I know it sounds super cheesy.
Sounds cheesy. But it is.
It
like
really,
the second you see someone understand...
It's that click moment, isn't it?
It's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And that they're having a good time as well. I want to get more comfortable deck building.
Yeah.
I have done a few pre-release, draft events, sealed events, things like that. Where the only time I've really built well is with the help of others. Yeah, okay. Which is totally fine.
You have to start somewhere. Like
exactly.
You can't just like get tossed in and expect to 100%.
Swim, And my friends have been so valuable. Casa, for one. We did a sealed tournament at a convention, and we were put against each other in the first round at TGX.
Oh, were you put against?
We put against it. It was also the most fun game ever. Yeah,
because you're playing like a slightly competitive stakes, but also like it's with a friend, so it's not like 100%.
And he helped me tweak my deck for the next round. And I went on to be like a bit successful too.
I've done this before in the pre-release. I think it was for Amonkhet, which is like an Egyptian sort of base set. And I still remember I beat this person the second round, and I was just like, oh mate, like let's take a look at your deck if you like. We've got some time. He's just like, yeah. And we took a look at his deck, and I saw some cards that like really good. I think he was quite new, and I said, why don't you put these in? And see how you go. And he came to me after like the whole day was done. He's like, mate, thank you so much. Like, I actually beat like the next 2 people. I'm like, mate, that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Padawan. That's Padawan.
No, but I'm so happy. Like it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And there is a way to do it. And again, we'll touch on that a little bit later. That it's not condescending.
Yes.
That's sort of like, it's good to teach.
And not unsolicited.
Yes,
kind of thing.
Correct. I always ask.
Yeah, of course. 100%. You really have a way of offering help and teaching, and you completely miss the condescending. Like you don't even come close.
I try my best, right? Because I know how it is. Like I know how it is to be. And I guess you'll talk a little bit about the later, like played for, and like sort of like, well, I'm playing the game. But so like good sort of goals to have is like play more like competitive stuff and what is it deck building
building, play more competitive, teaching that's like 100%. And again, like even if you are not a professional, you don't know a ton about Magic, as long as you know enough to play the game, you can teach.
I think so. Yeah.
You know, especially if you're teaching brand new beginners. Yeah. You have enough knowledge.
100%. Like the starter decks aren't, they've got like 2 keywords maybe. You know what I mean?
And they tell you what they do.
Everything like flying will have bracket. This creature can only be blocked by creatures with reach and flying, sort of thing. But I think it's just like the ones and like I don't think people with like 6-7 year knowledge are like the best people to teach. It doesn't mean that at all. Yeah.
All right. Tell us a bit about your personal goals.
You sort of like took it all out of my mouth. Really, like very similar things. I think the only thing I would say, like I do want to continue teaching. If they'll have me back to teach. Very, very rewarding. I do want to sort of maybe improve like my decision making sometimes, because like when you've got like maybe 7 cards in hand, if you're playing commander, there's like 3 different people, and you're like, should I remove this thing, or should I play my card out, or should I play my commander, or should I attack all 3 of them? You know what I mean? So there's never always like a really good one answer, but I think it's just sort of like refining down what is the best course of action, and that just gets done by just playing a lot of games, I guess. Improve my deck building, because like I still remember my first deck that I built all the way to now. I'm like, wow, what did I do? Like, it was terrible. And also just like sharing the love of Magic with other people through teaching and also through podcasts. I mean, I don't really have the reach sort of that like you do, which is fair enough. But like, hopefully through this, like more people will, you know.
And you got new accounts, right?
I did. I'm on TikTok now, guys.
Follow Nigel on TikTok.
I definitely sort of put myself from stopping myself from making TikTok, because like I get so addicted to TikTok. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm doing it just for Magic, I'm like, you know what? Heck yeah!
It's a business case.
Yeah, exactly. And also, eventually, I want to make one commander deck for each color pairing.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've got like a whole spreadsheet and everything. I've got like a mono green deck, a mono blue deck, a mono white deck, the angel deck. I don't have a red or a black one.
So pairing or like
everything.
Every combo?
Every combo.
Wow.
So like 2 color, 3 color, 4 color, 5 color, colorless.
Colorless.
Yeah. So like I'm just waiting to like, I don't want to rush into it.
Yeah.
I want to feel like this commander speaks to me, and then I'll build it sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah,
so
that's fair.
it.
Have you ever played Cube or built a cube before?
So I've played a cube before.
Yeah.
I played a cube before. Cube is really interesting, and it also really depends on like
Everyone says that. Everyone uses the word interesting.
It is very interesting, I think, and we can definitely let's
talk. Later date. Let's write that down.
Talk about cubing, because I think that would be very good.
Is it called cubing?
Yeah, cubing. Like I'm cubing. Like
I'm gonna cube.
And it's a thing. It's a thing. Well, I mean, like Magic is it is a pretty great game. I mean, great game.
It's a gate game.
Gate game. Yeah. And we do want to share with it as much as we can, and like that's why we do this podcast. But I feel, especially when I started playing as well, like even for me, and I've been playing for like 9 years, that the jargon can be very alienating to people. You know, when people were talking about like swords, I'm like, cool, like swords. They were talking about Swords of Feast and Famine, sort of Ice and Fire. Like,
so
when they just said swords, I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to know what you're talking about?
That was a Crybabies reference.
Yeah,
Sword of Wop.
What?
Have you heard that?
Sort of what?
Wealth and Powers, Sword of Wop.
Oh, what?
Making the sound.
I have never heard of that in my life. That's incredible.
I'm not taking credit for that.
No,
so I'm immediately like, I got that from somewhere else.
You should not take credit for it, because it's terrible.
No. Wow. You're going to get us cancelled.
Sort of.
I love it. Okay.
Wealth of Power is pretty good. But like things like mill, like, you know, bulk. I remember we were talking to like a friend, and she was like, what's bulk mean?
Well.
Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause we say bulk.
Well, even me, where I'm like, bulk isn't just everything, right? Because we know what my bulk looks like, right? So what is bulk?
But the thing is, like, it's not a thing that people are like, if you're like, you come off the street and I'm like, what's your magic bulk? And they're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, things like sack, which is like sacrifice. And like some cards have names. Like, have you heard Steve before?
Yes.
Steve is like Sakura Tribe Elder.
Oh, that could be fun to talk about at some point. Like the aliases, the nicknames.
Like how it came about. You know, like Gary. You've heard Gary
before? We could do a quiz, because I don't know. Because I've heard, but I don't really know.
So if I say Gary, you don't know what I'm referring to.
The only reason I know is because one of our friends loves him, but I don't know the card. I don't actually know the card.
That's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like if I just say this randomly to you, have a periphery version, like knowledge of that, but someone wouldn't know. Like
that's
it's just
true.
like Gary, and they're like, okay.
The first time someone said sad robot, I was like, what are you talking about?
It's Solemn Simulacrum, but
is this something you made up?
Yeah, that's the thing. And people were saying, like, so I was in a Commander pod. There's 4 people in the Commander pod. I would play Solemn Simulacrum, and then 2 people would just be sad robot. What the heck do you mean, bro?
Okay. Does he look sad? It doesn't look that sad.
But that's what I mean. Like, do you remember like when you first started, you know, playing Magic? I think it was during that sort of like co-working space. that sort of like event, right? Like because it was maybe like an instructional event, at least there was that atmosphere of like, okay, we're teaching people to play. So there wasn't so much like a, say random crap.
Yes,
nil and,
there was none of that.
Exactly.
Whatsoever.
When I first started playing, it was, so I did say back in 2015 was when I first started playing. But when I first encountered Magic was my friends and I, we went camping in the Great Ocean Road, and they like bought boosters to draft with. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like walk off into
like,
the. I'm stuck with them in a
leaving
in a
you
thing.
to your cards.
And we were drafting, and I have no idea what to do when you draft. And I passed the Planeswalker along because I had no. I passed along like a Kiora, which is like one of the I'll say mermaid ones, blue green ones. But I had no idea, right? I had no idea. So I really wish that someone sort of told me what to do and like take the time and explain the basics. Like I don't have to tap to block, which is a lot of like things like a lot of newer players sort of. Not to get into trouble too, but like they just assume that you do that because you do it to attack.
Yeah.
I wish someone had taken the time, so.
Well, there is like, I have noticed that because we brought a lot of our friends into Magic and like taught them or refreshed them or something like that. I have noticed that the second they stop tapping to block, that's when okay, they know enough. They're in it. Right. They've learned it. They know enough to play. It's it's like the sign.
And then they were like, they actually say the words untap, upkeep, draw, and I'm like, oh, I'm so proud, But I think it's so important to like avoid using like jargon when you're teaching someone to play, being patient and asking them if they understand what's going on, because a lot of times people can be like rushed through a lot of things. I'm trying to teach myself to stop him. Like, do you have any questions? Like, do you understand what's going on?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will maybe sometimes just say it to like, just carry the game along, but it's very important to know that this thing can't attack the turn it comes down because it has summoning sickness. And one of our friends said that the best way that they've learned to understand summoning sickness was that it's hungover.
Yeah.
So
which you can't use when you're teaching like small children.
No, you can't. But I say they're sleepy. I say they've just woken up. They can't go to combat. They can't go to battle straight away.
Cute.
So when I'm teaching kids like that, I literally go, can't attack yet, and they straight away.
Perfect.
Straight away.
I wish I was taught that way.
Sleepy.
We should go back and you can teach me like I'm a 5-year-old.
But again, like we were saying before, Commander's like probably the worst way to learn.
It is.
Starter decks. You had a good time, I think, learning with starter decks, didn't you?
Yeah. So
maybe not.
I mean, okay. So the first cards, I mean, aside from the starter decks, because I definitely learned with them and played. It's so strange. I played with them quite well when I was learning on that first day. Yeah. But as I said, I didn't really play, and then on each release from a certain time from AFR, Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, that's when I was playing each set. But I was playing Commander each set.
Right. So when you learned the first time, it was just like, here you go, and that's it. Like you didn't sort of play like every week or something.
No. Yeah. I was playing on, but again, I didn't know anyone who played. It was a lot of like Wizards would put content creators in a room together. With decks, and that's how I played. I feel like I maybe originally didn't learn with Commander decks because I don't think precons were a thing for a really long time, right?
You'd be surprised. It actually goes back to maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like 2011.
Unscripted.
2011, 2012, they started making like supported actual Commander product.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so
anyway.
It could be anyway.
But like that is so wild that I was playing and I don't even remember until I really started getting into that. And then I did learn with Commander, but I didn't find myself really get it until I played Jumpstart. Which is wild. Like I was playing Commander before I understood what was going on.
It's crazy as well because like it's a very social thing.
Yes.
So I think that Commander is like the best social format.
It is,
right because you're sort of there to have a good time.
In our opinion.
As a learning format, it's terrible. It's so complicated. It's so bad. that, yeah, starter decks are really great because you see the same cards again.
Yeah.
Commander's like a one card, like a singleton format. So you see like a billion complicated cards, whereas starter decks, you see like you have 2 shocks in hand, you got 2 lightning bolts in hand or whatever it is, and you'd be like, right, I can, play it multiple times, and just repeating things helps to learn. And also Magic, I think Arena, I don't really enjoy Arena personally.
Really?
Because I like the social aspects of it.
Right.
All you can say in Arena is "Yo go, hello,
Yo-go.
good game."
No, I find that really funny sometimes with my friends.
With your friends,
because we know what it means when we're like, "Yo go, yo go,
yo go." Oops. But I think Magic Arena is a great way to learn like the stack. Things like if my creature dies, it has an ability, it'll go on the stack, and then like Arena very like visually shows you like it's an actual stack.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to sort of like practice as well. I think Commander's just like, yeah. I
like the satisfying sounds from Arena too. They give you the dopamine, like the shoo and the and
then sometimes when you play it, kind of just like, I have arrived, or something like that. Yeah.
I know, but I find that really satisfying. Opening packs too.
And
it makes the
shoom. It's like
it's a whole celebration.
It is a whole thing. It's very smartly engineered. What do you what is the thing that you enjoy most about Magic, I suppose, apart from the teaching and the social? And it is a social mostly, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely the social, 100%. I've had a lot of fun dragging every person I've ever met into playing Magic with me. And I actually like flavor decks as well. Like I built...
Which we will get to.
Oh, okay.
No.
I built my first deck at the start of this year.
The spider deck, right?
It's the Australian deck. Thank you very much. Beg your pardon. Yeah.
It's Magic Australia.
Yeah. It's the Australia deck. And it's basically a spider deck. It's basically Shelob Commander with other animals.
You got like snakes and crocs and
crocodiles.
Do you have wombats?
There's only one wombat.
There's only one wombat.
It's rabid wombat.
Did you have it in there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And there's like what is like unstable or
Unfinity?
No.
Was it the newest one or no?
No, it's like the
the kangaroo.
The kangaroo.
Yeah.
Where mother kangaroo?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a Rule 0 conversation card.
You can't not have a kangaroo though.
Because it's not legal.
Yeah, it's a silver
but it's a fun card and it's the only kangaroo. So you have to have the conversation before you start the game and say, so Rule 0 is like when you go, is it okay if I play this card?
That is a Rule 0 thing.
Yeah. And no one says no because of course it's the Australia deck.
It's not a good card, so like it's funny if anything.
I think it can be. It's like a roll. You roll the dice.
To roll a dice one, yeah.
I mean, it could be a pretty big.
It could be.
Mother kangaroo.
Mummy kangaroo.
Make mummy big kangaroos.
No. What?
Use your face.
Make
mummy big mama kangaroo.
Oh dear.
So what I really love about Magic, it's enriched my life and my social life.
I think so. For me personally as well.
I have something regular to do, however many times a week.
At least once a week now, I think we try.
At least once, usually twice if it's a good week.
If it's a good week, yeah.
At 2 different places too. So that's a nice little variety. And I love hosting at my place as well.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to get people around. Just say, hey, we're gonna play some Magic. We're gonna eat some good food.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're all there.
It's always a good feed when it's at your place.
Yeah. I love hosting. I love going and buying cheese and things like that. So obviously it's so social for me. They say for me it's like the 3rd place.
What does that mean?
So
what's the first and the second place?
Well, I think it's like home and work, and you need a 3rd place to enrich, like to for your well-being.
Okay, interesting.
Which it really has been for me.
Because you're like too comfortable at home, aren't you? And like work is not a place to enrich your well-being as much as HR sometimes.
No, you need a 3rd place, and usually it's a free place. Actually, I'll read it out physically because I'll read it out verbally from here. So a 3rd place Locations that facilitate social interaction outside of the people you live or work with and encourage public relaxation. They are places where you encounter regulars or frequenters of a space as well as potential new connections. That's Magic.
Okay.
You know,
Interesting.
It's plenty of games.
Yeah.
It's Fortress. It's become a third place.
The third place for you.
Yeah.
I think in the same way, because like we're in the same friend groups who play in those places. I think very similarly for me as well. Like if I go there and I had lost my phone, internet's not a thing. If I go there, I know at least one person there.
Yeah.
At least one.
At least.
And that's like super conservative.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we know staff who work there now, like at both these places who are there so freaking much. I like that though. Public relaxation. That's interesting.
Because it is, right? Like especially because we play Commander.
Yeah.
They're social, non-competitive for the most part.
Well, for the most part, I mean, you should play to win. I'm just saying, but like
you should play to win.
You should always You should. Well, we'll get to that another time. But you shouldn't play not like dawdle. You know.
Oh, not to dawdle.
No, and like I will respect my opponents enough to try and win.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. As long as you're not smacking down on people.
No, of course not. Of course not.
That's another conversation for another time.
Which is a perfect segue into what we actually really want to talk about tonight. Tonight, is things that, you know, the unspoken rules of Commander and just like table etiquette and like things that maybe turn people off Magic a little bit.
Yeah, and like learning for the first time.
From a new player's perspective.
From a new player's perspective,
yeah.
Sure.
So I think everything that we say from here on out until the end of the episode, I think needs to be taken like fairly contextually and like every play group, which is the people that you play with. This is more jargon, by the way, for people that like we know what playgroup means, but some people don't, and this is sort of the point, right? Every playgroup is like different, so like there'll be people like you who've started playing like properly from Adventures from Forgotten Realms. I've been playing since 2015. We've got friends that started playing beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's all different skill levels. There's all different personalities. So take into context, right?
Yeah.
We're not here to shame anyone. We're not here to like diss anyone specifically. We're just here to talk about what's a good way to curate learning.
Yeah.
I should say.
And just acknowledging, especially as a new player, for other new players, things that you might come across.
Yeah.
In your early days. I mean, well, anytime.
Well, even like for myself, someone who's playing for 9 years, I still see some of these things, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm super happy to talk about, really. So Magic is super complicated. Very, very complicated game. There's 26,000 unique cards in the game, right? And they all have like a billion words. Like, so you might not know exactly what the card is on the player like diagonally opposite you. There used to be a time where I could look at a card like art and be like, yeah, I know exactly what Edgar Markov does.
Wow.
I know exactly. But because there's so many different art styles now, different frames, different treatments, secret layers, it's hard, right? So
and I wouldn't have that knowledge at all.
And not to brag, but if I don't know, like how would someone who's fresher to the game
That's exactly right.
be expected to know? We shouldn't be expected to know. So one super wordy card that always sticks on my mind is Questing Beast, which is a 2 green, a creature from the original Throne of Eldraine.
All right.
Yep, it's a legendary
Before my
creature.
Time. Yep.
It's got 4 lines of text. Okay, 4 lines of text. Here's what it says. Basically, it's a Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Again, you wouldn't know what that means if you're a new player too.
Not if you knew.
Questing Beast can be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that will be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls.
Oh my goodness.
The last 2 lines of text, not really relevant for the most part, but it's very wordy.
But new people as well will ask about those lines of text,
100%.
even if
it's not relevant.
Because they don't know. They don't know if it's relevant. They would see the text and think, oh, that's relevant.
Exactly. So,
at all times.
So, I need to read a lot of cards. Like a lot of pre-cons nowadays have like very unique cards that aren't in the main set. You need to be. There's so many times you're like, oh, what's that do? So a lot of times now when you play against Commander, I don't know if people do it. Like if they're playing a new card like that's from Outlaws, basically, they'll actually read it out. I'm playing Kellen the kid, he's blah 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 blah, and he does this. So people be like, oh yeah, we gotta destroy that thing really quick. But you know, that's the whole point, right? You should either let them read it out, or maybe ask to maybe touch someone's card and be like, hey, could I take a look at that, Kellen? Could I take a look at that? What's another? Tiny Bones, right? Because Tiny Bones says Death Touch and a whole bunch of other stuff. I really, really hate it when someone just picks up my card from the table and starts reading it.
Oh.
I hate it.
Even friends?
Even friends. I'll actually say, like, there's two reasons for that. One, you shouldn't be touching other people's stuff.
Right.
Without asking, you know? If anyone asks, I would say, absolutely go ahead. But if someone picks it up, the rest of the table can read it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I generally, if I'm looking at, you know, Chris's board, I say, hey, Chris, could I take a look at that thing you just played? The answer is always sure.
Yeah.
It's always sure. No problem. And then I'll do it, and maybe I'll read it out for people if like, you know, yourself,
if they're
and
right there,
Adam or whoever wants to know, and I'll just read it out. But you know, people really, really take time to build like the commander decks. They're like, this is my new Attract Some Mommy deck, you know, bling that out with Phyrexian sleeves, you know, and do all these things. You don't want to get someone to get the greasy palms on them.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I've just had a war flashback.
Yeah. Did someone touch your cards?
After eating chips or something.
Yeah, like a greasy
and licking
thing.
their fingers.
Whoa! Was that
all right? Yes, on your side now.
But that's what I mean, right? Like you've got nice sleeves, you've got nice cards. Some of these cards are like $50, $60, if not even more. Just like maybe wipe your hands, you know, like
maybe go wash your hands.
Well, that's it, and it's just like, don't just grab a card. Like ask nicely. I've never had anyone ever say no.
Yeah.
Ever say no. Yeah. What's one thing that you maybe don't like, a little bit controversial, that you?
I don't think it's controversial. Okay. It's more it's my perspective because I'm a beginner.
Okay.
Oh, well,
I want to say you're a beginner.
Well,
but
I mean, sorry, yeah,
you're
newer,
sure.
because but when I was a beginner,
a
lot of people that you play with who they may have played for years. They know a lot about the game. They can spot a card and know exactly what it is, what it does. The more experienced people who could do that would play for me.
As in, like, they would tap your mana and all of that?
So yes.
Okay.
That was like frustrating as someone who was learning. There were two parts to it where it was they would do the tapping for me, which is like, it's my really board. Let me do it. And also I'm newer. Yeah. And they would tell me what I should do, who I should attack, what I should.
And not in like a funny, don't attack me, attack.
No,
attack,
like you should, like just playing for me where I didn't have to use my brain.
Yeah.
And so
that's not what you're there for, though.
No, I distinctly remember leaving and realizing I didn't learn anything. I did not take anything away because I didn't play.
Yeah, you weren't playing the game. No. You were watching someone play your deck.
So I guess that's my like one main pet peeve, and also being a newer, so that was like while I was a beginner. People with more knowledge than you will still do it if you are newer. If you have less knowledge than the other person and they know that, they'll still do that. And then I think it's frustrating then too, because I do know enough.
Correct.
I know enough at this point.
And like even you could make suggestions. You know, you don't have to tell someone. You don't have to tell someone to do this. You could be like, you could do this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you should do this. It's very, very different, I think.
I loved when people let me make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you can pick up. You can, like, at least I could. If I made a misplay.
You'll never forget it. You know
you don't forget it.
Yeah.
No.
That's how you learn.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Let people make mistakes.
Let people learn.
Let people learn.
Let people learn again.
That's my main.
Okay, so like let people playing for you.
People playing. The tapping of the cards was the worst. I didn't like that.
I feel like that's pretty. Yeah, it's my lands, man. Let me tap for my mana.
Or like the first thing you learn when you play Magic is that you tap to attack.
Yeah.
So you're doing the most basic step for me.
Oh, I see
It's
that
like
too.
if you drew a card. It's like you were like, time for you to draw, and handed me a card. I know I need to draw.
Yeah.
It's the first thing.
The fact that you say that makes it even more. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, and I have more perspective of it now because we teach.
Yeah.
So I know that that's the first thing, that when you're teaching, you teach them those basics. You teach them, that you
pay tap mana to pay for your spells.
Yeah. Untap, upkeep, draw.
Yeah.
And then tap to do XYZ.
Wow, that's quite interesting that you frame it in that sort of way. I never looked at it before. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. It's so much that the air escaped from my mouth. Another thing that I'm pretty frustrated with is that we play Magic maybe once or twice a week. Twice a week if we're lucky. We're adults, we work, maybe, which I didn't have to, which make Magic content for the rest of my life. But we actually take time of our schedules to go home, shower, maybe get our decks, chuck them in our backpack, head to Plenty of Games or Fortress or whatever LGS that you go to around Australia, around the world. And we'll sit down, see our plans, we'll start playing a game, or sit down with not a random, but like a new friend, I would say. We'll start playing, and it really, really irks me when people just stop paying attention. If you have to answer an urgent phone call, I'm not gonna say nope, sit your ass down. You have to play with us. But if you're constantly on your
grandma
phone,
can wait.
yeah. But yeah, things like, and I'm also very guilty of this because we go to Plenty of Games Fortress and we see a lot of new faces. Sometimes people come and say hi. I'll say hello to them. And I really shouldn't because it's my turn, but I haven't seen this person for a long time. I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes as well. But I try to be sorry, can I catch up with you later? I need to get back into comboing off this turn.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So I'm very acutely aware that when I'm here to play a game with you and my friends.
Yeah.
Let's play that game.
It depends on the dynamic of the group as well. Monday night, last night.
Yeah.
That was I played a very low key game with the girlies.
Just the one game?
Yeah, one game.
No. Very low key.
But we knew from the get go.
You set the expectation,
We
right?
set the expectation that the game was going to be mainly social.
Yeah.
We hoped to finish the game, but it was someone's first time at Plenty of Games.
Yeah.
And seeing everyone in a long time. So we knew and set that expectation.
As long as you set the expectation prior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's just when you're playing, because again, Magic's very complicated, Command is very complicated. One person said, if you have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. I'm not saying, hold it in. But if someone, I've had people whip out their phone and start playing mobile games on their phone while someone's taking their turn, and then they'll come back and okay, what did I miss?
No.
But the person who was doing turns, playing cards and I'm doing this, tapping this, untapping, he's already said it once and twice before.
Yeah.
And this person who's on the mobile phone is making them explain everything again, and it just feels a little bit disrespectful. Again, we're all adults. We'll come here to play a game. Be part of that game.
Yeah.
Put the phone away. I don't know, what do people play on the mobile games? This Genshin. Put a Genshin Impact. Put Genshin away for one night.
I think I still have Genshin Impact on my phone, but I do not play it during Magic games.
Well, that's the thing. I've had someone whip out and play Arena in a Commander game before.
Not enough magic in your Magic, huh?
It's Magicception.
Yeah.
But my point sort of stands in that but be a little bit more, not respectful, but be more present. I think it really gets me.
I mean, yeah, you're there to play.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your friends.
I'm gonna combo off and destroy someone. So
watch me pop off.
Exactly. Kind of spell. Anything else from you that you're sort of can't stand it?
No. There's nothing that I'm kind of that really irks me.
You got it off your chest.
No,
already.
I'm pretty casual, as you can tell. But I wanted to kind of ask your opinion because it's something that I thought about. It's something I thought about recently. So we talked about card touching.
Yeah.
Is there etiquette for life total touching.
Oh, okay. For like when you're tracking on like an iPad or a phone.
Like on an iPad in the middle. Is it ever
interesting
BM, or is there like, is it ever someone's responsibility?
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Personally, for myself, if someone deals like I like to be present in the game. So if I'm like, if someone says, yeah, I blur out his trigger, which says, Nigel, you lose 1 or 2 life. I'll be like, yep, I'll lose 2 life. I go down from 40 to 38, and I'll say it as I press the thing.
Yeah.
I do that sort of to say that I acknowledge what's happening, and also I do it. I take like it's my life. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Some people will expect the person dealing the damage to do it, and some people will just like I don't know. That's a very good point.
Because like, if you expect the person, because I would understand expecting the person who's doing the damage if you're in a commander pod of 4.
Yeah.
And like maybe it's something that affects everybody. That it's that person's like quote unquote responsibility.
Okay, like if it's 3 damage to each opponent, you would say if Jane did that, Jane would do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
But are there ever BM moments to to take someone's life? We're leaving that in. Is it BM to take someone's life?
Look,
Sorry.
Wait, do you think so? Like, that's interesting.
I feel like there's maybe been like a single situation.
Right.
But I can't remember the specifics where I was kind of like, I feel like other people would be annoyed by this.
Okay. It's never really become a thing.
Does it fall into the playing for other people at any point?
It depends on how like quick someone is to do it, I think. Yeah.
But I think it can be BM if it's a general, maybe a combat damage. Maybe it's combat damage.
So like if I attacked you with a creature that 5 damage
and then
to
you looked me in the eyes.
And then did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And tapped down like 11 life or whatever insane number it might be.
Like if it's maybe a friend you know and you're funny about it, maybe. But if it was like someone you just met at the LGS.
Oh no, it's on site.
You're like, ugh.
But I would love to hear if other people have had.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments if you think that changing someone else's life total is BM or not.
Or like situationally even. Not even, it doesn't have to be all the time because obviously it's not all the time.
Sometimes like if someone's like forgotten something like, hey, I did 2 life for you. I'll say it. I won't just like quietly like
just like
cheating. I'm
just gonna take a little bit of life.
Every time I do something like that, I'll say it aloud. Like, all right, your command attack me. I'll take 7 command damage. I'll actually.
Not everyone's a teacher, Nigel.
Yeah, I think that's something I sort of to like think about as well. But that's a really interesting question. I've like I've spoken to a lot of people about like like things people hate, things that's never come up.
I don't know. My brain is broken.
I think that's about it actually for our first episode. So if you're stuck all the way here, thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I had a great time.
This was fun.
That time just like went by. So that was really, really good. So thank you for watching and or listening. Thank you to Rex Studios for having us here. I think it's
thank you.
This is incredible.
So professional, more than we deserve.
Very fancy, but and also thank you to our editor and producer, Mike Casa. Is that it?
Mark,
how do you want to? Mark is Mark. What did I say, Mike?
We're gonna go back on that. Mark, cut him from the show.
Oh my god! Because I was thinking of Rex Studios, Mike.
Yeah. All right. Gosh. Thank you so much to our editor and producer, Casa. No.
I know.
Thank you, Casa. Also, you can find us all on social media.
Absolutely.
You can find Cozy Magic Club everywhere.
Which you should start following right now.
Please.
Yep.
You can find me pretty much everywhere too, and on Twitch too.
Yep, that's true. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok as well.
Yes.
As Nigel Victus, and I'll probably start streaming Magic a little bit more on Twitch. Back to doing it again. Maybe.
I'll watch that.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see how we go.
And you should also follow Casa MTG on YouTube.
Very entertaining.
Fantastic videos talking about the background of art
Specific
on MTG cards. I really love it. I've loved
the one
them so
that
far.
was, I think, Riveteer's Ascendancy.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the black, red, green one with the people sitting on
the thing.
Right.
The thing.
The link will be right here.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, just like it really helps us out if you subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah. YouTube especially as well.
Yeah, YouTube's good.
There's going to be a lot of stuff on this channel.
Yeah. Comment as well if there's any behaviors that you hate, or if there's any weigh in on the life thing, because I really want to know. I've never heard about this before.
I really sprung it on
you.
you.
No, it's really good. But thank you so much, and we'll see you later.